I never thought, I never thought my life could be anything but catastrophe. But suddenly I begin to see a bit of good luck for me. 'Cause Megan is coming back. She's flying back with Oliver today. Well, it almost was right. Oh man, how you guys doing? Looks like we got a little white noise here. Let me see if I can edit that out here. I'm Dr. Josh, in theory. Let me see if I can make that go away a little bit. There we go. That's better. So, yes, Megan is coming back. Thank you guys very much. I love that movie, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. So, yeah, I thought that would be a nice way to nice way to open up here. So yes, Dr. Josh, Digital Hammurabi. Just wanted to say welcome to everybody, and Megan is coming back today, which is very exciting. And so I thought I'd do a quick stream, maybe an hour, because I'm gonna go get her from the airport. This is gonna be fantastic. I'm really excited about it. So yeah, you may notice that I have shaved. Apparently, it came up last night that was a big deal that I haven't shaved in a while. So I decided that I should. I mean, I was going to anyway because it's probably a good idea to shave. But yeah, I want to make sure that I get off here before a little bit before I have to go, because I want to make sure I tidy up everything. But I thought that since last week we read Lugalbanda and the Mountain Cave, and I said that we would finish the story by reading Lugalbanda and the Anzu Bird, that it would be a good idea to finish that up. I was going to do it last night, but Skylar and I had a really nice conversation with Daniel Ray. If you haven't seen it, check it out on Skylar Fiction Show or Skylar Fiction Channel. And then tonight, I don't remember if it's on Digital Fiction or on Skylar Fiction. I can't remember, but we are going to be talking to... I always forget his name. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's apparently done another rebuttal video against our slavery video, or our response. I don't know. This is the last time I'm doing this, I think. I mean, unless you guys really want me to keep going back and forth about this. I feel like we're sort of exhausting, perhaps. I'm going to move myself over here a little bit. Exhausting the whole slavery debate thing. But anyway, so that should be 8:30 tonight. And right, it should be good. Did a little reading this morning, sort of prepping for it. But yeah, excited to have Megan come back. So, Lugalbanda and the Anzu Bird has a homecoming in it. And so I thought it fit pretty well. It's not like a homecoming story, but I thought we'd go ahead and read through it. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time or don't know what the Digital Hammurabi Book Club is, what we do is we read through Sumerian and Akkadian literary texts and sort of give light commentary, answer questions as they come up. So we're reading through 2 of the 4 stories that are focused in on a guy by the name of Enmerkar, who is the king of Uruk during the 3rd millennium BCE. And the first 2 stories are about one of his main warriors, a guy named Lugalbanda. And last week we read about Lugalbanda as he went on this march against the city of Arata, and So Arata's sort of the enemy of Uruk, the main enemy of Uruk. It shows up in at least in this Enmerkar cycle. And so they march out, and Lugalbanda falls ill right in the beginning of the story. And sorry, I just noticed a question in the side chat. I'll get to that in just a second. Damn it, I lost it. Oh, right. So he falls ill, and so they think he's going to die. They prepare what is essentially a funerary offering for him and leave him there in the mountain cave, saying if he gets well, then, he'll go back to Uruk. But if, he's probably going to die, and if he does, then we'll have this, funerary offering here. Anyway, Lugalbanda cries out to the gods, and the gods deliver him, and then he does all these really pious things. And the story ends, it's a broken bit at the end, but the story ends with him still in the mountains. So, if you want to look at, for all of you Sumerologists out there, Assyriologists, you know this, I'm sure, already. But if you want to look at the critical edition of this, I think still the most up-to-date one is it's Das Lugalbanda Epos. It's Vilka. Sorry, I was just blanking on his name. Side note, Miguel Seville, if you don't know, has passed away, which is very sad. He was an eminent Sumerologist. Just a brilliant human being, and we're all very sad that he's passed away. Right? Sorry, I just thought of that because I thought of Velka and Sumerology. Yes. I guess I should say before we get going, Megan's going to be coming back. I don't know if I mentioned that Megan's coming back. I don't remember. And Skylar very, very generously gave us a gift he sent us $75 to go out to dinner, which was unbelievably kind, totally unnecessary, and just very, very sweet. So thank you very much, Skylar. I really appreciate that. I just did. Skylar's amazing. Okay, side chat. Right. Cadaver Splatter. Digital Hammurabi. Do you find some of the grammar weird in the lamentation of Sumerian or? Particularly the verbal prefixes. Sometimes I feel there are unknown nuances. Other times, seeming mista. I don't know what the last word is. It's been a while since I've looked at the. I don't know that I've ever strictly paid attention to the verbal prefixes. By the way, if any of you don't know what we're talking about, I feel like that's probably most everyone. Sorry. If you would like to know what we're talking about, we have Sumerian lessons, Learn to Read Sumerian, videos on the website, the YouTube channel. So check them out. I just put lesson 10 up, and there's only one left, lesson 11. By the way, if you can see, I have my Digital Hammurabi t-shirt on with the awesome English translation on the back. Megan did such a phenomenal job with these t-shirts. I absolutely love them. So, but yes, Skylar, I owe you big time for everything you've done for me. Yeah, right. You don't owe me for anything. I appreciate you letting me come on your channel. We have so much fun. Skylar and I have so much fun. But yeah, I'll have to look, Cadaver Splatter. But one of the things about these laments is that they're sort of a hybrid, right? They're a foot in each camp of the laments and the literary texts. And so you do find a lot of genre manipulation. So it wouldn't surprise me. You have a lot of emisal, and of course, as I'm sure you know, in the city laments. So, okay, good question. It's not often that I get to see a Sumerological question. Right. For those of you that didn't see Skylar's show last night, I've started my script for the these are my notes. Ooh, going the wrong way. These are my notes. My outline for the script for the formation of the Pentateuch. So what we're going to talk about, and I promise I'll start here soon. But I don't know where my phone is. And I probably should have my phone so that in case somebody calls. Hang on a second. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, I just... Any reason that I could think of to play that thing. I love that holding screen. Dross the Legend. If you ever come to the UK, I would happily take you around the British Museum. Thank you very much. Actually, Megan, if you go on our Twitter, thing, Megan went to the British Museum this week. Took a whole bunch of pictures of the Ashurbanipal exhibit. And she just had so much fun with it, and it was great. Yes, Alias fake name. He does that just so he can play the music. I do. That's the only reason. Okay. So I don't remember if I was saying something else, but I'm gonna get started with Lugalbanda and the Anzu Bird. So here again, remember, end of the story, Lugalbanda is just recovered and he's doing all these wonderful pious things, and now he's still in the mountains, and that's where the story picks up. So if you want to follow along, please go to the electronic text corpus of Sumerian literature. I can probably put that in the side chat here. etcsl.org. I'm so lame. I'm sure there's a better way to do that. I always say that too. There's a better way to do that. And then I never figure it out. So I apologize. Ugh, not Excel. Good grief. I hate autocorrect. etcsl. There you go. Electronic text corpus of Sumerian literature. Fantastic resource. Tons and tons and tons of Sumerian literature. So, right. Here we go. Lugalbanda and the Anzu Bird. And by the way, if you do have questions, please, if you put them in the side chat, just tag me at Digital Hammurabi so I can see it better. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll miss it. Lugalbanda lies idle in the mountains, in the faraway places. He has ventured into the Zabu Mountains. No mother is with him to offer advice. No father is with him to talk to him. No one is with him whom he knows, whom he values. No confidant is there to talk to him. In his heart he speaks to himself. I shall treat the bird as befits him. I shall treat Anzu as befits him. Now, if you remember, those of you that have been with us for a while, you know that the Anzu bird in later literary texts, particularly Akkadian literary texts, Standard Babylonian stuff, features sort of poorly, right? So you have the story about the Anzu bird and the Tablet of Destinies, who steals the Tablet of Destinies and then goes off, and so he becomes this like bad figure. But really, early on, he's not this bad guy. So you can see sort of the development of the Anzu bird in Mesopotamian religion and the literary texts. In his heart he speaks to himself, I shall treat the bird as befits him. I shall treat the Anzu as befits him. I shall greet his wife affectionately. I shall seat Anzu's wife and Anzu's child at a banquet. An will fetch Ninguena for me from her mountain home, the expert woman who redounds to her mother's credit. Ninkasi, the expert who redounds to her mother's credit. Her fermenting vat, Ninkasi is the beer god. Goddess. Let's see. Her fermenting vat is of green lapis lazuli. Her beer cask is of refined silver and gold. If she stands by the beer, there is joy. If she sits by the beer, there is joy. Oh, wait. Lost it. If she sits by the beer, there is gladness. As a cupbearer, she mixes the beer, never wearying as she walks back and forth. Ninkasi, the keg at her side, on her hips. She's like continuously at college. It's probably crickets out there. Okay, sorry. May she make my beer serving perfect. When the bird has drunk the beer and is happy, when Anzu has drunk the beer and is happy, he can make me find the place to which the troops of Uruk are going. Anzu can put me on the track of my brothers. Now notice, again, he's not only pious in the previous story, he's doing all the right things, but now, they've anticipated in the previous story that if he gets well, he's going back to Uruk, right? Because he was sick. He almost died. But here, what does he want to do? He wants to get out of the mountains, not so he can go back home, but so that he can go and fight, right? This is, a trope, right? This is what we see. I keep using the word trope, and I really should look and see if that's the right word. I feel like I mix up trope and motif a lot. If anybody has specific clarification, I guess I could Google it, but throw it in the side chat there. Let's see. Now the splendid eagle tree of Enki on the summit of Inanna's mountain of multicolored cornelian stood fast on the earth like a tower, all shaggy like an aru. With its shade it covered the highest eminences of the mountain like a cloak, was spread out over them like a tunic. Its roots rested like sangkal snakes in Utu's river of the seven mouths. Nearby in the mountains, where no cypresses grow, where no snake slithers, where no scorpion stings, in the midst of the mountains, the 🀭 bird had put its nest and laid therein its eggs. Nearby the Anzu bird had set his nest and settled therein his young. It was made with wood from the juniper and box trees. The bird had made the bright twigs into a bower. When at daybreak the bird stretches himself, when at sunrise Anzu cries out. At his cry the ground quakes in the Lulubi mountains. He has a shark's teeth and eagle's claws. In terror of him, wild bulls run away into the foothills. Stags run away into their mountains. Cadaver Splatter, I see it there. Is there a transliteration? Yes, on ETCSL. I don't know how to show that except to turn my iPad around. I guess I can do that. On ETCSL, let me just... Right. So this is ETCSL, the Electronic Text Corpus of Sumerian Literature. There we go. If you click in this... Oops. Man, how do I do this? If you click up here on this corpus content by category, it brings you to this screen. I will get this right at some point. And you can see that these literary texts are sorted, by genre. Genre is not the right word. By topic. And say of hymns. Yeah, I guess they're genre. Strict literary texts. Anyway, what we're doing is we're at Lugalbanda and Enmerkar down there. And if you click on Unicode, there are two options. So you see it there, Lugalbanda in the mountain cave. You have transliteration and translation. Lugalbanda in the Anzu Bird, Enmerkar in the Riverata, and Enmerkar in Ensukkerana or Ensukeshtana. But you can click on the transliteration, and if you click on the transliteration, sorry. Oh, good. Thank you. Ed Brower put it in the side chat there. So if you click Lugalbanda and the Anzu Bird, this is what you come up with. So as you can see, it's giving you the actual Sumerian. This is a composite text, of course. This is looking at the various manuscripts and doing a composite line. But, right, you can follow along there. Oh, sorry, I gotta show all these. Yeah, man, I gotta make people mods. Do we have any mods in here? Damn it, I don't know how to do that. You know what? I'm gonna take. Can I take 10 seconds and figure out how to do that? Is that legal? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take 10 seconds and figure out how to make. The Cold War was neither cold nor war. Discuss. Okay, nope, I have no idea how to do it. All right. Oh, there was no music? Oh, man. It didn't work. Damn it. Oh, well. Hey, Brant. It didn't work, seriously? All right, you know what? That really frustrates me. I'm really, ugh, something with OBS. Like sometimes, like in the beginning, I don't know if you guys saw, but in the beginning, the video, I had to click things around a little bit because it, for some reason, like it wouldn't play when I went to the intro. Sorry. Yeah, I can't figure out how to. Oh, hey, Brant's a mod. That's right. Okay, good. So Brant, I have no idea how to make other people mods. I just tried to find out, but I'm a loser. Oh well. I don't know why that came up even. I don't remember in my mind why the whole mod thing came up. Oh well. Okay. Now that we've had this big sidetrack, I apologize. Let's get back to reading the story. So we're reading Lugalbanda and the Anzu Bird, and he's getting ready to take, he's going to decorate, he's going to treat the Anzu Bird well. That's what he's going to do. Okay. Lugalbanda is wise, line 50, and he achieves mighty exploits. In preparation of the sweet celestial cakes, he added carefulness to carefulness. He kneaded the dough with honey, he added more honey to it. He set them before the young nestling, before the Anzu chick, gave the baby fatty meat to eat. He fed it sheep's fat. He popped the cakes into its beak. He settled the Anzu chick in its nest, painted its eyes with kohl, dabbed white cedar scent on its head, put up a twisted roll of salt meat. He withdrew from the Anzu's nest, awaited him in the mountains where no cypresses grow. So he goes and he decorates, right, the nest, and he feeds, it seems weird, he feeds the Anzu chick, and basically what he's doing is he's treating the Anzu bird's family well, right? And so at that time, the bird was herding together wild bulls of the mountains. Anzu was herding together wild bulls of the mountains. That is such a nice cup. It goes down smooth from this cup. Sorry. That was lame. He held a live bull in his talons. He carried a dead bull across his shoulders. He's carrying two bulls. The bird is carrying two bulls with him. He poured forth his bile like 10 gore of water. The bird halted once. Anzu halted once. When Anzu called back to the nest, his fledgling did not answer him from the nest. When the bird called a second time to the nest, his fledgling did not answer from the nest. Whenever the bird had called back to the nest before, his fledgling had answered from the nest. But now, when the bird called back to the nest, his fledgling did not answer him from the nest. The bird uttered a cry of grief that reached up to heaven. His wife cried out, "Woe!" Her cry reached the Abzu. The bird with this cry of woe and his wife with this cry of grief made the Anuna, gods of the mountains, actually crawl into crevices like ants. The bird says to his wife, Anzu says to his wife, "Foreboding weighs upon my nest, as over the great cattle pen of Nana. Terror lies upon me, as when wild lions start butting each other. Who has taken my child from its nest? Who has taken Anzu from its nest?" Now this is sort of a theme, another word that I use a lot. You see this in Sumerian literary text, the Etana epic, or the Etana story. For example, you have a snake and an eagle that live in a tree, and the snake goes out to hunt, and while he's gone away from his nest, the eagle comes down and eats the snake's young. So this sort of thing, the animal leaving and then coming back, and the young not being there is sort of a common thing. Okay. But it seemed to the bird when he approached the nest, it seemed to Anzu when he approached the nest, that it had been made like a god's dwelling place. It was brilliantly festooned. His chick was settled in its nest, its eyes were painted with kohl, sprigs of white cedar were fixed on its head. A twisted piece of salt meat was hung up high. The bird is exultant. Anzu is exultant. I am the prince who decides the destiny of rolling rivers. I keep on the straight and narrow path of the righteous who follow Enlil's counsel. My father Enlil brought me here. He let me bar the entrance to the mountains as if with a great door. If I fix a fate, who shall alter it? If I but say the word, who shall change it? Whoever has done this to my nest, if you are a god, I will speak with you. Indeed, I will befriend you. If you are a man, I will fix your fate. I shall not let you have any opponents in the mountains. You shall be hero, fortified by Anzu. So, okay. Sorry, I see we have a couple of questions here. Let's see. Oh, there are 3 comments next to... I see 3... Add moderator. Hey, look at that. Who else wants to be a moderator? Tim Smith. Was Anzu just an older version of Tiamat? No, I don't think so. That being said, I think I know why you're asking. Maybe. So, for those of you that don't know, if you think about... Sorry, just looking down here. No! Damn it. See, I gotta... Oh, God. See, I'm not allowed to click things. I need to stop clicking. That's just the key. Sorry. Because I think I undid alias fake name and then redid him as a moderator. So I'm just... Okay, anyway. Fuck, I forgot the question. Jesus Christ. I really, 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 really love MS. Oh, I'm sorry. Tiamat and Anzu. Sure. Okay, so if you think about... I've got a video up on our channel about this. So you have the Anzu myth, right? The Anzu myth from probably late second millennium. but it also goes back to the Old Babylonian period. And then you have Enuma Elish, which is a later text, right? And who wrote on this? I have his name on the tip of my tongue. Lambert. Lambert wrote on this, where he shows the connections between the older Anzu myth and the motifs that are there, and later Enuma Elish. So without going into a bunch of detail here, in the Anzu myth, Anzu takes the Tablet of Destinies, goes off into the mountains. Ninurta goes out to fight against him. They have a battle, and some of the vocabulary that's used, some of the themes that appear there, later appear in Enuma Elish. And the whole point of the Anzu myth is to show Ninurta being, sort of elevated as this great god. And sorry, guys, I'm not being particular about this stuff. Fuck. I really can't do two things at once. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have no idea what I was talking about. Yeah. So, for example, so Ninurta is is elevated to like this supreme god status or this high god status, and in Enuma Elish, of course, this is the exaltation of Marduk, and in the text, Marduk, the things that were said of Ninurta in the earlier Anzu myth, are then said of Marduk, but sometimes in a very odd way. And so of course, the antagonists in the stories, the antagonist in the Anzu story is obviously the Anzu bird, and in Enuma Elish, it's Tiamat. And so, you can see that, would it just be like, if Marduk is Ninurta revivified, is Tiamat sort of the development or whatever of Anzu? No, but I see the connection that you're making there. The position is similar as the antagonist. Okay. Lugalbanda, line 111. Partly from fright, partly from delight, partly from fright, partly from deep delight, flatters the bird, flatters Anzu. Bird with sparkling eyes, born in this district. Anzu with sparkling eyes, born in this district. You frolic as you bathe in a pool. Your grandfather, the prince of all patrimonies, placed heaven in your hand, set earth at your feet. Your wingspan extended is like a bird net stretched out across the sky. On the ground, your talents are like a trap laid for the wild bulls and wild cows of the mountains. Your spine is as straight as a scribe's. Your breast as you fly is like Nirach parting the waters. As for your back, you are a verdant palm garden, breathtaking to look upon. Yesterday I escaped safely to you. Since then I have entrusted myself to your protection. Your wife shall be my mother, he said. You shall be my father, he said. I shall treat your little ones as my brothers. Since yesterday I have been waiting for you in the mountains where no cypresses grow. Let your wife stand beside you to greet me. I offer my greeting and leave you to decide my destiny. So, sorry, I was just looking at the side chat there. So here you're going to see something develop. Of course, if you remember what it means to assign a fate, to decide a fate, to cut a fate, determine a destiny, all these things. It's something common in the ancient Near East. You see it in the Hebrew Bible as well, but it's pronouncing the future, but in a way that it's like I say, you will be successful, and then that person has success. So it's okay. Excuse me. So that's what's going on here. Anzu says, I'll decide your fate. And he says, please do. Line 132. The bird presents himself before him, rejoices over him. Anzu presents himself before him, rejoices over him. Anzu says to holy Lugalbanda, "Come now, my Lugalbanda, go like a boat full of precious metals, like a grain barge, like a boat going to deliver apples, like a boat piled up with a cargo of cucumbers casting a shade, like a boat loaded lavishly at the place of harvest. Go back to brick-built Kulaba with head held high." But notice, go back, right? Go back to Uruk. Don't go on to Arata. Lugalbanda, who loves the seed, will not accept this. So then Anzu continues. Like Shara, he picks a different thing. Like Shara, Inanna's beloved son, shoot forth with your barbed arrows like a sunbeam. Shoot forth with reed arrows like moonlight. May the barbed arrows be a horned viper to those they hit, like a fish killed with a cleaver. May they be magic cut. May you bundle them up like logs hewn with the axe. Lugalbanda, who loves the seed, will not accept this. So Anzu says, okay. May Ninorta and Lil Sun set the helmet lion of battle on your head. May the breastplate that is in the great mountains, may the breastplate that in the great mountains does not permit retreat, be laid on your breast. May you the battle net against the enemy. When you go to the city, Lugalbanda, who loves the seed, will not accept this. So a different one, okay? The plenty of Dumuzi's holy butter churn, whose butter is the butter of all the world, shall be granted to you. Its milk is the milk of all the world, it shall be granted to you. Lugalbanda, who loves the seed, will not accept this. As a kib bird, a freshwater kib, as it flies along a lagoon, he answered him in words. So Anzu has said, all right, here, take this, how about this? Nope. And so now the bird listened to him. The bird listened to him. Anzu said to holy Lugalbanda, now look, my Lugalbanda, just think again. It's like this. A willful plow ox should be put back in the track. A balking ass should be made to take the straight path. Still, I shall grant you what you put to me. I shall assign you an allotted destiny according to your wishes. So you can see, he's getting a little frustrated with old Lugalbanda because this is obviously there's not borrowing or something going on here, like direct borrowing, but you hear this with like Solomon, right? God offers Solomon certain things, and Solomon says, "No, I want wisdom. I don't want riches. I don't want all this other stuff." So he says, "All right, look, just want you to know, you're bucking against me here, and the thing you do with bucking animals is you put them back in their place, but just tell me what you want." So holy Lugalbanda, line 167, answers him, "Let the power of running be in my thighs. Let me never grow tired. Let there be strength in my arms. Let me stretch my arms wide. Let my arms never become weak. Moving like the sunlight, like Inanna, like the 7 storms, those of Ishkor. Let me leap like a flame, blaze like lightning. Let me go wherever I look to, set foot wherever I cast my glance. Reach wherever my heart desires, and let me loosen my shoes in whatever place my heart has named to me. When Utu lets me reach Kulaba, my city, let him who curses me have no joy thereof. Let him who wishes to strive with me never say, just let him come. I shall have the woodcarvers fashion statues of you, and you will be breathtaking to look upon. Your name will be made famous thereby in Sumer, and will redound to the credit of the temples of the gods." So Anzu says to holy Lugalbanda, "The power of running be in your..." He says all the same things. I'm not going to read it again. Okay. He took in his hand such of the... It's because I'm looking at the time. It's 10:39. So I'm skipping a little bit here. He took in his hand such of his provisions as he had not eaten, and his weapons one by one. Anzu flew on high. Lugalbanda walked on the ground. The bird, looking from above, spies the troops. Lugalbanda, looking from below, spies the dust that the troops have stirred up. The bird says to Lugalbanda, "Come now, my Lugalbanda, I shall give you some advice. May my advice be heeded. I shall say words to you. Bear them in mind. What I have told you, the fate I have fixed for you, do not tell it to your comrades. Do not explain it to your brothers. Fair fortune may conceal foul. It is indeed so. Leave me to my nest. You keep to your troops." The bird hurried to his nest. Lugalbanda set out for the place where his brothers were. Like a pelican emerging from the sacred reed bed, like Lachama deities going up from the Abzu, like one who is stepping from heaven to earth, Lugalbanda stepped into the midst of his brothers' picked troops. His brothers chatted away, the troops chattered away. His brothers, his friends, weary him with questions. "Come now, my Lugalbanda, here you are again. The troops had abandoned you as one killed in battle. Certainly you were not eating the good fat of the herd. Certainly you were not eating the sheepfold's fresh cheese. How is it that you have come back to from the great mountains, where no one goes alone, whence no one returns to mankind?" I'd like to look at the Sumerian there, because it's interesting. You have this idea of, the netherworld being the place from which no one returns. It'd be interesting to see what I'm assuming it's 𝀭for there. So, but anyway. Again, his brothers, his friends weary him with questions. The banks of the mountain rivers, mothers of plenty, are widely separated. How did you cross their waters? As if you were drinking them. So you see the supernatural aspect of what he's doing, right? He's a superhero now. Holy Lugalbanda replies to them, "The banks of the mountain rivers, mothers of plenty, are widely separated. With my legs I stepped over them. I drank them like water from a water skin. And then I snarled like a wolf. I grazed the water meadows. I pecked at the ground like a wild pigeon. I ate the mountain acorns." Lugalbanda's brothers and friends consider the words that he has said to them. So, he's hiding from them what, actually happened. Exactly as if they were small birds, flocking together all day long, they embrace him and kiss him. As if he were a gam-gam chick sitting in its nest, they feed him and give him drink. They drive away sickness from holy Lugalbanda. That's an interesting line. I'd like to read what Vilka says about that, because why would he be sick? Anyway. Then the men of Uruk followed them as one man. They wound their way through the hills like a snake over a grain pile. When the city was only a double-hour distant, so now they're approaching Arata, the armies of Uruk and Kulaba encamped by the posts and ditches that surrounded Arata. From the city it rained down javelins as if from the clouds. Slingstones numerous as the raindrops falling in a whole year whizzed down loudly from Arata's walls. The days passed, the months became long, the year turned full circle. A yellow harvest grew beneath the sky. They looked askance at the fields. Unease came over them. Slingstones numerous as the raindrops falling in a whole year landed on the road. They were hemmed in by the barrier of mountain thorn bushes thronged with dragons. No one knew how to go back to the city. No one was, I'm assuming that's no one, was rushing to go back to Kulaba. In their midst, Enmerkar, the king, son of Utu, was afraid, was troubled, was disturbed by this upset. He sought someone whom he could send back to the city. He sought someone whom he could send back to Kulaba. No one said to him, "I will go to the city." No one said to him, "I will go to Kulaba." He went out to the foreign host. No one said to him, "I will go to the city." No one said to him, "I will go to Kulaba." He stood before the elite troops. No one said to him, "I will go to the city." No one said to him, "I will go to Kulaba." A second time he went out to the foreign host. No one said to him, "I will go to the city." No one said to him, "I will go to Kulaba." He stepped out before the elite troops. So again, this is something that you see in Mesopotamian literature. We just described two stories where it happens. The Anzu myth and Enuma Elish, where people are asked, "Hey, go forth and fight, go forth and do this, go forth and do that," and they go, "I'm not doing that," or they don't volunteer. Lugalbanda alone arose from the people and said to him, My king, I will go to the city, but no one shall go with me. I will go alone to Kulaba. No one shall go with me. If you go to the city, no one shall go with you. You shall go alone to Kulaba. No one shall go with you. He swore by heaven and by earth. Swear that you will not let go from your hands the great emblems of Kulaba. After he had stood before the summoned assembly, within the palace that rests on the earth like a great mountain, Enmerkar, son of Utu, berated Inanna. Once upon a time, my princely sister, holy Inanna, summoned me in her holy heart from the bright mountains, had me enter brick-built Kulaba. Where there was a marsh then in Uruk, it was full of water. Where there was any dry land, Euphrates poplars grew there. Where there were reed thickets, old reeds and young reeds grew there. Divine Enki, who is king in Eridu, tore up for me the old reeds, drained off the water completely. For 50 years I built, for 50 years I was successful. Then the Martu peoples, who know no agriculture, arose in all Sumer and Akkad. But the wall of Uruk extended out across the desert like a bird net. Yet now, here in this place, my attractiveness to her has dwindled. My troops are bound to me as a cow is bound to its calf. But like a son who, hating his mother, leaves his city, my princely sister, holy Inanna, has run away from me back to brick-built Kulaba. If she loves her city and hates me, why does she bind the city to me? If she hates the city and yet loves me, why does she bind me to the city? If the mistress removes herself from me to her holy chamber and abandons me like an Anzu chick, then may she at least bring me home to brick-built Kulaba. On that day my spear shall be laid aside. On that day she may shatter my shield. Speak thus to my princely sister, holy Inanna. So the idea, of course, here is, and I should just look back and make sure I don't have any questions. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything. Cool. But the idea here is that remember, in the ancient Near East, and you even see this in, like the book of Daniel, you have these localized deities, be they considered demons or angels, whatever. But you see this idea of, particularly Mesopotamia, individual cities have individual gods, sometimes more than one, but usually one for the city. Or at least there's a direct connection. So Inanna is directly connected to Uruk. And so here, Enmerkar, there's this theme that runs throughout the Enmerkar cycle where Enmerkar and the Lord of Arata, they're competing for Inanna's affections, right? Each one says, Inanna loves me more. No, Inanna loves me more. So here, Enmerkar and Uruk, his army, the army of Uruk and Kulaba, have gone out, and they're fighting against Arata, and they can't even get to the city because of all these, sling stones that are being thrown. And now Lugalbanda is going to go back to Uruk and talk to Inanna, ostensibly because Inanna's there and not with the army at Uruk fighting with them. And so Enmerkar says, hey, look, ask her, what's the dealio? Why aren't you out there, out here with us, fighting with us? Let me at least come back home. And from, at that point, I'll put my weapons down and, but at least let me get back. Thereupon, holy Lugalbanda came forth from the palace. Although his brothers and his comrades barked at him, as at a foreign dog trying to join a pack of dogs, he stepped proudly forward like a foreign wild ass trying to join a herd of wild asses. Send someone else to Uruk for the Lord. For Enmerkar, son of Utu, I shall go alone to Kulaba. No one shall go with me. How he spoke to them. Why will you go alone and keep company with no one on the journey? If our beneficent spirit does not stand by you there, if our good protective deity does not go with you there, you will never again stand with us where we stand. You will never again dwell with us where we dwell. You will never again set your feet on the ground where our feet are. You will not come back from the great mountains where no one goes alone, whence no one returns to mankind. Lugalbanda says, time is passing, I know. None of you is going with me over the great earth. While the hearts of his brothers beat loudly, while the hearts of his comrades sank, Lugalbanda took in his hand such of his provisions as he had not eaten, and each of his weapons one by one. From the foot of the mountains, through the high mountains, into the flat land, from the edge of Anshan to the top of Anshan, he crossed 5, 6, 7 mountains. By midnight, but before they had brought the offering table to holy Inanna, he set foot joyfully in brick-built Kulaba. So, in a day, he makes it there. It's crazy. So, his lady, holy Inanna, sat there on her cushion. He bowed and prostrated himself on the ground. With joyful eyes, Inanna looked at holy Lugalbanda as she would look at the shepherd 🀭Galana. That's Dumuzi. In a joyful voice, Inanna spoke to holy Lugalbanda as she would speak to her son, Lord Shara. Come now, my Lugalbanda, why do you bring news from the city? How have you come here alone from Arata? So it's interesting, this idea that the deity doesn't know. Why is it that he's been able to do it? So very different ideas, about omniscience, for example. Holy Lugalbanda answered her, what Enmerkar, son of Utu, quoth, and what he says, what your brother quoth, and what he says is, and then he gives her the message. I won't read it again. Holy Inanna uttered this response. Now, at the end, on the banks, in the water meadows, of a clear river, of a river of clear water, of the river which is Inanna's gleaming water skin, the 🀭Mash fish eats the holy herb. Excuse me. The toad eats the mountain acorns, and the fish, which is a god of the 🀭Mash fish, plays happily there and darts about. With his scaly tail he touches the old reeds in that holy place. The tamarisks of the place, as many as there are, drink water from that pool. It stands alone. It stands alone. One tamarisk stands alone at the side. When Enmerkar, son of Utu, has cut that tamarisk and has fashioned it into a bucket, he must tear up the old reeds in that holy place, roots and all, and collect them in his hands. When he has chased out from the fish, which is a god of the 🀭Mash fish, caught that fish, cooked it, garnished it, and brought it as a sacrifice to the 𝀭weapon, Inanna's battle strength, then his troops will have success for him. Then he will have brought to an end that which in the subterranean waters provides the life strength of Arata. If he carries off from the city its worked metal and smiths, if he carries off its worked stones and stonemasons, if he renews the city and settles it, all the molds of Arata will be his. Now Arata's battlements are of green lapis lazuli, its walls and its towering brickwork are bright red. Their brick clay is made of tinstone dug out of the mountains where the cypress grows. Praise be to holy Lugalbanda. The end. Yes, seemingly anticlimactic. That's what you all were thinking, I'm quite sure. So one of the things that shows up in these texts is that when Uruk conquers, they take care of Arata. In fact, in Enmerkar and the Lord of Arata, there's this competition between Enmerkar, the king of Uruk, and Arata, the Lord of Arata. And one of the things that you see is that there's been this famine in one of the competitions that they have. You see there's this famine that's going on in Arata, and because of I really can't look at the side chat while I do this because I see something and then I think about it for a second and then I lose exactly what I was thinking about. Anyway, there's this competition that takes place, and right, the famine that's in Arata, and Merikar, the king of Uruk, does something because of this competition to make the famine go away. And so this idea of providing for even this enemy city and making it better is something that's seen. But yeah, ostensibly, Uruk, the army wins and then comes back. And now, not only did they win, but Arata's even better off than when they started the battle or started the fight. So, 2 homecomings, one implied, but in the Anzu Bird and his wife coming back to the nest, and Uruk, the armies of Uruk with Merikar coming back with Lugalbanda because of Lugalbanda's great work. And of course, Lugalbanda coming back home with his great speed. So lots of homecomings, which is fitting for Megan coming home today, which of course I'm very excited about. Well, I was going to finish after an hour, so a couple minutes left. If anybody has any questions, I really appreciate you. Go ahead and put them in the side chat. Really appreciate you guys being here. I think this has been a lot of fun. I know shorter than we normally do, but I did want to finish up the Lugalbanda and this just Lugalbanda story, and this really fit well. While we're waiting, if you don't know, tonight we're going to be going on with somebody. I Am That I Am is his name. Praise I Am That I Am is his name. And so we're going to be going on with him. I don't know if it's on Skylar's show or on the Digital Fiction show, but either way, we're going to be talking about slavery, the response to the response to the response to the response, I guess, about slavery. So it should be interesting. Hopefully this will be the last one. So I'm getting tired of talking about slavery. But as long as we need to do it, we'll do it. We want to get to truth. Okay, I got a question. Ab Brower, section 111 and 131. Your spine is as straight as a scribe's. I picture a scribe as someone with a bent spine. Was the spine of a scribe straight? Yeah, the idea, you see them actually in some of the reliefs, you see them sitting up very straight like this. I suspect that if you were a student, it was part of, having proper posture, and but yeah, you see them pulling that from memory, but I'm 96.3% sure I'm right about that. Yeah, but they're pictured sitting up very straight. See, watch now where somebody's going to pull up a relief and be like, hey, this guy's bent over. I'm going to say, well, damn. But no, I think that's how they're pictured, as sitting very straight. Let's see. Digital Hammurabi, what's the thinking on if Arata is a real place or more of a myth? Yeah, I mean, I think this is probably based on, it's mentioned out to the east over the 7 mountains, right? So yeah, probably this mythological place that's over there. But I haven't looked into that specifically, so that's probably a good thing to look at. I'll take a look at what Vilka says about it. And actually, Vilka has another book. It's shorter. I think it came out maybe 2013, 2014. And it's a very short commentary on Merikar and Sukakashdana. Still obviously brilliant because it's Klaus Vilka. But he probably talks about that. And it's in English, which is nice for a lot of people, so including me, because even though I know German, it's much easier to read English. So, okay. Well, guys, I really, really appreciate all of you. And I'm glad that I figured out, well, I didn't figure it out. Somebody told me how to make people mods. It was Alias fake name. So I appreciate you telling me how to do that. Oh, and there is my mother-in-law. How are you, Maggie? She's safely on her way. It's been a lovely visit with her and Oliver. Our loss is your gain. No doubt whatsoever. I am so unbelievably happy that she was able to go over there. And, family is just so unbelievably important. And, I feel very blessed, honestly. And I use that in sort of the colloquial sense, but allowing for it to be more specific, to have in-laws and a family that are like Megan's. Just absolutely incredible people. And watching the videos, Megan was sending tons and tons of videos of Oliver with Moti and Ali Man, and yeah, it's great. Good family. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Supplemental to As Straight as a Scribe's Spine. Was there any sarcasm in the texts? Just in general? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a whole ton of debate texts. We'll get into them, where you see them. Now that I'm saying it, I want to make sure that I'm remembering. There's all kinds of mocking, but I suspect that sarcasm is among them. But I've got to go look. Okay. Well, I will. I'm looking through here. Are there any more? All right, guys. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and end it here. And again, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to tidy up the house just a little bit, and then get on the road and go get my beloved wife and son. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all tonight. And I'm sure Megan will pop her head in at one point to say hey to everybody. Okay, until next time, resist poor scholarship. Always ask, how do you know that? Bye, guys.